Let's pray. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the offices of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor us, your servants, whom you've been pleased to call to the performance of important trusts in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our county and of those whose interests you've committed to our charge. Amen. Next order.
Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Yes, there is a communication. Honorable members, we've received an invitation from the Office of the President, specifically the Office of the County Commissioner, and it's about the Presidential Working Party on Education Reform, county consultations. Pursuant to the provisions of Article 10, 2, Part A, and 232, 1, Part D of the Constitution, His Excellency the President, through Gazette Notice number 1190 of 29th September 2022, appointed the Presidential Working Party on Education Reform to, among other issues, carry out consultations with the public, education stakeholders, and other institutions. To this end, the Presidential Working Party on Education Reforms is scheduled to conduct hearings and meeting in Nakuru County on 11th November 2022 at 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Nakuru Girls High School. The purpose of this letter, therefore, is to invite you to attend. And so, members, take note, and the chairman and the leadership of the Committee on Education need to take note of this, so that now there should be an orderly appearance before this party. Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
There are papers to be laid by the leader of the majority party, Mheshimiwa Dr. Alex Langat. Karibu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First one to paper order number 5. The report of the Auditor General on the Nakuru Water and Sanitation Service Company Limited for the year ended 30th of June 2021. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to lay the report.
Thank you. There is another report.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Still on paper order number 5. The report of the Auditor General on the Nakuru County Emergency Funds for the year which ended on 30th June 2021. Mr. Speaker, I lay the report.
Thank you, the leader of the majority party. The report now stand committed to the Public Accounts Committee. Chairman and the committee leadership take charge. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
Next order.
Order number 8, resumption of debate.
Yes, there is a resumption of debate. The leader of majority party.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The resumption of the debate, the thanks of the Assembly be recorded for the exposition of the public policy which was contained in the address of the Governor. That address was delivered on 12th of October 2022. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. The motion is open for debate. Yeah, it's a resumption of debate from where we left in the morning plenary. And there was an order, there were some members who already expressed their will and desire to contribute, starting with Mheshimiwa Wathiai, then Mheshimiwa Kirui, and then Mheshimiwa Dinda, in that order, and then we proceed with another round of members.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. My name is Samachari Wathiai, and I represent the great people of Shaba Board. I want to commend the governor's speech as the greatest speech this county has ever had. And in relation to the various sectors in our county, in the education sector, matters ECD, I'm eagerly waiting for the launch of the feeding program, so that at least we can have an increase in the number of students who will be visiting our schools because of the lunch program. On matters roads, tarmacking of the 200 kilometers. Out of these 200 kilometers, I believe the people of Shabab will get at least 8 kilometers of tarmac. Hiyo hapo mimi nitakuwa sawa na watu yangu ya Shabab kwa hii 200 kilometers. And we have the harmonization of business permits. This will enable the county to have a one-stop permit that will be easy to get. Once you go to get your license, you'll not have to go to the various different departments to get the permit for whatever you want to do, but it will be just one permit that I believe will comprise everything in that one permit, and it will be easier to get. Therefore, we are going to have a business-friendly environment with that. On matters market and promoting brand Nakuru. That is in the governor's speech, and I'm hoping that the governor is going to bring in sports as a marketing department for Nakuru County, where we can sponsor some of our teams and maybe brand them with our county government kits, and maybe do more on marketing with the sports department. In all this, these are indicators that the governor wishes well for our great county of Nakuru. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa Wathiai. Mheshimiwa Kirui.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. My name is Ben Kirui, MCA, Barut Ward. I stand to support the speech from our able governor on the issue of education. On the issue of ECD, we had our able governor saying that we will employ more and trained ECD teachers. I believe, Mr. Speaker, this will apply to all 55 wards in our county. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, on the issue of water, our able governor promised to complete and solarize all the boreholes within the county, which I think, Mr. Speaker, sir, will help Nakuru people to access more and clean water to our areas, especially within our wards. Mr. Speaker, sir, on the issue concerning health, We remember our able governor promising that we will send drugs to our dispensaries. And yesterday, Mr. Speaker, as I was visiting our dispensary within Barut Road, Kigon Road and Barut, we received drugs from the county government. This one showed that all the promises that our able governor promised will be implemented. Mr. Speaker, sir, there is something which our majority leader talked about during our morning session. 2 kilometers Tarmac Road. Barut Road is just 5 kilometers away from the town, and we don't even have even a single inch of a Tarmac Road. For us to see these roads, Mr. Speaker, sir, it's either we visit Honorable Wanjoi's ward, far from our ward in Pwani, or we just come to Nakuru town. So I request Mr. Speaker, sir.
Mheshimiwa Kirui, you were saying that if you want to see your people to have a feel of tarmac,
Yeah.
it's either they go to Mheshimiwa Joyce Lare ward or come to town.
Yes. Mr. Speaker, hatuna lami Barut. Tuweze kuona lami lazima tuende Pwani kwa Mheshimiwa Wanjoi. Hapo ndio lami imefikia, na Mheshimiwa Mash hapa Ronda. Hapo katikati tumekwama, hatuna chochote. That's why I requesting these 200 kilometers, Mr. Speaker, at least to touch Barut. At least to touch Barut, even 11 kilometers from these 200 kilometers, Mr. Speaker, sir. So I stand to support Madam Governor's speech, and I will end my speech there. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa Kirui. Mheshimiwa Ndinda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I'm Cyrus Dida Ndegwa, representing the great people of Maunarok Ward, where agriculture is our main economic activity. Na tunapozungumza kuhusu fertilizer or agriculture, it is important to note that the national government wanatupatia fertilizer kwa bei ya shilingi 3,500. But the problem is, wakati hii fertilizer inafika kwa ground, unakuta wakulima wanapata ile fertilizer kwa bei ya juu, kwa sababu kuna cartels wengi ambao wako hapa katikati or brokers. I would like to bring this matter to your attention, to this house, ili tuweze kusaidia wakulima ambao wako kule upande wa Maunarok na eneo lingine ambapo wanafanya ukulima. Alafu pia, Mheshimiwa Speaker, niseme ya kwamba kuna sheria ambazo zimewekwa ili mmoja aweze kupata fertilizer. Anaelezwa ya kwamba lazima awe na title deed. Niwaeleze ya kwamba yale mashamba ambayo tunalima upande wa Maunarok hayana title deed. Kwa hivyo imekuwa ni ngumu sana kwa wakulima wa eneo la Maunarok Ward kupata services ama kupata fertilizer. I would also want to say that Mheshimiwa Karanja alisema ya kwamba kuna sheria ambazo ziliwekwa labda na wale ambao walikuwa pale awali, ya kwamba viazi inapimwa kwa bagi za 50 kg packaging. Na in fact, badala ya kusaidia wale wakulima katika Maunarok ama eneo lolote ambapo wanapanda viazi, imekuwa ni shida. Na ningependa this house to help us, or let us come up with laws ama sheria nzuri ambazo zitaweza kusaidia wakulima wote across the Nakuru County. Tunapozungumzia kuhusu education, nashukuru sana speech ya ama hotuba ya governor ni nzuri. But the question is, haya mambo yote tumezungumzia hapa, ama haya mambo yote ambayo yameahidiwa hapa na Mheshimiwa Palanga alikuwa ameulizia, are they achievable? Nikiangalia kwa undani kabisa, mambo ya feeding program itaweza kuwa ngumu kidogo, kwa sababu tayari kuna ECD centers ambazo zilijengwa na wale ambao walikuwa pale mbele, lakini mpaka sasa hivi ukija Maunarok we have about 3 ECD centers. Mpaka sasa haijakamilika. Some of the classes were constructed in 2014 by wale ambao walikuwa pale mbele. Now, I would advise or I would urge, badala ya kuenda kwa feeding program, kwanza tumalize yale madarasa ambayo yalikuwa yamejengwa na wale ambao walikuwa. Badala ya kuenda kwa feeding program, ningeomba kwanza tuajiriwe walimu wa kutosha katika zile ECD zetu. We have the CBC ambayo iko pale mbele. I think in the forum that we shall be attending pale, CBC inafaa kuondolewa kabisa. Ya mwisho, mambo ya health. Ya mwisho, mambo ya health. We have very many dispensaries ambazo zilijengwa na wale ambao walikuwa pale mbele yetu, lakini mpaka sasa hazijakamilika. Let us first of all complete the dispensaries that we have. Let us first of all employ the nurses. Alafu kuanzia hapo tutasonga mbele. Otherwise nitamalizia hapo, but I also expected that nitasikia mambo ya fire extinguishers. I think it is the work of the executive.
Mheshimiwa Speaker, ningependa kutoa taarifa ama kumtaarifu mwenzangu hapa na ili
What is it, Mheshimiwa Njuguna? Already you've allocated yourself time.
naomba kumtaarifu ama kumpea taarifa mwenzangu hapa.
So either one of you has to be seated. So Mheshimiwa Dinda, do you want to be informed or
No, I will finish first, then you will inform me later.
proceed, Mheshimiwa Dinda?
Some of us are slow learners and we are going to catch up. Nilikuwa namalizia kwa kusema kwamba nilitarajia kusikia mambo ya fire extinguishers and how we shall respond wakati kunatokea mkasa kama vile wa moto katika area zetu. Unakuta ya kwamba zile fire extinguishers ambazo tuko nazo hazitoshi. Like in Manarok Ward tumekuwa na hiyo shida kwa muda mrefu. Unakuta moto umetokea mahali fulani, lakini zima moto unaambiwa iko Molo. Kabla ifike pale, community tayari wamepoesha ule moto, ama unakuta ule moto umesababisha hasara mingi sana. Kwa hayo mafupi na machache, Mheshimiwa Speaker, nashukuru sana. Asanteni. Now I can be informed. Thank you.
Order, Mheshimiwa Dinda, you're not informed after you're through with your submissions. So, but he's well advised.
I stand to be corrected, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Mheshimiwa Njuguna, you are advised. So, Mheshimiwa Jane Getuko from Mayela.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, sir. Jane, representing the good people of Mayela, want to appreciate this house and say thank you because of the opportunity of our governor to have come inside here and to tell us about what we expect for the next 5 years. And I also thank her for last week, some of us were fed, so that also should be recorded that we are appreciating. One thing I would like to say is that the speech of the governor was all inclusive and was talking about completion of projects that have been stagnated for some time. So we appreciate that, and we know that with that completion, some of our many problems will have been solved. And on the issue of, on the note of, I want to say that in agriculture, we were talking about agriculture, and she had given us some few instructions on what we are going to do with our agriculture. And I also want to request that for the fertilizers, especially the ones that were flagged off last week, the mode of distribution was very wanting. And people called each other as they knew each other. And most people who were needed did not get this fertilizer. My request would be, because we also have those committees, to put in place, in line with administration, county structures that would allow the MCA to also oversee how these fertilizers are distributed. On ECDs, like yesterday, I think I spent the whole day on the ground, and I had some few cases of children fainting. I think I was even feeding some in the ECDs. So I was thinking in the supplementary budget that is coming up, and in January, because this drought has been persistent, and we don't have enough food. Please let us consider, first of all, feeding these children, because some will even be attracted to and on our youth. I looked at my online page, and I saw a page reading our governor that the more the hyped do this, that we gave, promises we gave to our youth during the campaigns have now started taking effect. And if you look at that page, those people who have gone to that page, they will see that they are being asked for 1,000 shillings. I would request that we be informed that there would be people who are taking advantage of this situation. They're asking our youths for 1,000. And if this case is true, because we have seen it on Facebook, let us also be informed as MCAs so that we can know that whether this project has been rolled off. On the issue of health, those who are in health department have got very good issues, and the issues are here with our governor's manifesto. But there's a group that has been forgotten, people living with HIV and AIDS. These people are in our community, they are our brothers and our sisters, and we surely need to locate something for them, for those who are in the health department, so that they are catered for. Remember, they are vulnerable. Remember, the economic situation on the ground is not very favorable, so we also need to consider them and factor them up. When it comes to land issues.
Point of order?
Yes.
Which order, Mheshimiwa Karanja?
Order number 1, Mr. Speaker.
That one is not applicable to a member.
Mr. Speaker,
unless there is another order, but that one, it's applied the Speaker's rule until you want.
Do I see it, Mheshimiwa?
This point of inquiry, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, so...
Mr. Speaker, there is a statement, and you know there is, the hazard is there, that is an alarmist, that there is, the Mheshimiwa talked about in the governor's WhatsApp that there are some people demanding for money. I think that one, Mr. Speaker, ought to be clarified, because it cannot just go like that. You know, it is a scary statement. It is a siphoning statement, Mr. Speaker. It ought to be clarified so that we know, or evidence tabled.
I have that evidence.
It is not just a mere statement.
I have that evidence.
Let it be tabled so that we know what.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I have it. It is on screenshot.
Okay.
So I'll be able to provide for it. Don't worry. Because that is why I'm raising concern, because I know our accounts can be hacked. Honorable Karanja, I have no problem. I know many things do happen. When it comes to land issues, there is the land issue that is national and the land issue that is county. And because these two people are supposed to work into complementary, it is just a request that this House would come up with formulas that would allow us to know our boundaries when it comes to dealing with lands. There is the planning, and then there is the national issue of titling. We had a report that was prepared by this county assembly last time called the ad hoc committee, and when it was challenged in court, it just remained that it was not very effective. So that the finances we use in all these activities, especially on matters land, does not just go to waste. My people of Maela, who are victims, we have gone back to square one, because that ad hoc committee was challenged in court. It was from this county assembly, and we have to restart again. And what is most interesting, Your Honorable Speaker, sir, is one of the stakeholders, who is Kenji, when was called in an open forum, stated that clearly, all through that ad hoc committee, they were not aware that they were the subject of discussion. So what I would like to request is that even as we proceed with issues that touch really our people, we should be able to be merciful enough so that whatever we do in this House does not just come out like that without having any effect on the ground. When it comes to tarmac, Maela ward is the only ward in this county of Nakuru that has never seen the light of tarmac and bitumen. So I would appreciate very much the 200 kilometers, and out of those 200 kilometers, some 50 kilometers, I know they'll be coming to Maela. When it comes to gender violence and issues that are related to women and gender, we appreciate, because in our societies, we are having children who are being molested, we have mothers who don't know where to run to. So as soon as possible, may this manifesto be implemented to the great good of the people of Nakuru. Honorable Speaker, sir, we thank you and we appreciate. We are learning. We have never been in any other county assembly, and we know that everything we say here should be well documented. We should be able to have proof, and that is why I've talked about the issue, because I know some young men who are now ready to give 1,000 so that we can get them motivated.
Mr. Speaker, I was studying on order number 90. Because before the member sits down, let us, you know, we cannot continue while you have told to substantiate. That is studying order number 90, Mr. Speaker. Because we need that fact, Mr. Speaker.
That one is overtaken by events.
No, it has not been overtaken, Mr. Speaker. The reason being it has been captured by the hazard. And you know, Mr. Speaker, when people are stealing money from the public.
Karanja, already, Mheshimiwa Jane Getuko said, that she has it in screenshot. So
Let us have it.
that one will be supplied, will be sent to the whip, and then the whip would know how to supply the members
Yes.
with that,
Because,
information.
Mr. Speaker, I was saying that because we cannot have this in the governor's WhatsApp.
Mheshimiwa
I didn't
Doreen,
say WhatsApp, I said Facebook. I think you should understand me. I said in the Facebook page.
yeah, order, Mheshimiwa. It is, she said that it's all screenshot in the forum, I mean in the Facebook. So Mheshimiwa Doreen?
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. I also rise to support the governor's speech. Mr. Speaker, sir, first of all, first and foremost, I would like to start first by congratulating the governor, Honorable Susan Kihika, for being elected as the third governor of Nakuru County. Let me also take this opportunity, Mr. Speaker, to congratulate you and also the honorable members for being elected. I'll also want to talk about the issue of ECD. Mr. Speaker, sir, you realize that our kids requires to be taken care when they are in the formative stage, Mr. Speaker. As we build, as a builder build the house, Mr. Speaker, sir, you realize that he concentrates so much, or she concentrates so much on the foundation stage. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, you realize that it is important, rather than finishing, foundation is very important, and the issue of ECD has been mentioned so much by the Honorable Governor on the issue of feeding programs, and also the employment of ECD teachers. You realize that it is so crucial, Mr. Speaker, sir. In areas like in Solai, Mr. Speaker, you realize that most of the kids go to school without food. So it is very important, and I really support our Honorable Governor for that. Let us introduce this feeding program to the kids, and also let us increase the number of teachers in the ECD. That being said, Mr. Speaker, sir, I also support the issue of vocational training centers. The governor talked about promotion of partnerships with universities and industries for the commercialization of youth innovation. Progressive establishment of vocational centers. There is need to encourage our youths to undertake training courses, Mr. Speaker, sir, that are basically regardless as technical courses. You realize that a lot of youth people are moving from the informal to the formal sectors, which is good thing, Mr. Speaker, sir. But also, there is need, Mr. Speaker, sir, for people to be trained in other sectors like plumbers, hardmen, mechanics, which is very important. It cannot be overlooked, Mr. Speaker. So we encourage our youth to join the vocational training centers, and also the governor has mentioned that it will be increased in numbers. On the issue of water, Mr. Speaker, our governor in her speech mentioned that she will focus on achieving clean and safe water supplies. Mr. Speaker, it is unfortunate that in this 21st century, our mothers are still carrying, and girls are still carrying the water in their bags, Mr. Speaker, and also most of the schools in the remote areas are still carrying, you realize that most of the schools do not access clean water, and most of the pupils, Mr. Speaker, in Mashinani go to school carrying jerry cans, especially on Fridays in our wards, like in Solai ward. Mr. Speaker, sir, we have a lot of hopes in the leadership of the governor. Soon, we hope that all these mothers and grandmothers will stop carrying water on their backs. Mr. Speaker, sir, also on the issue of the girl child and women, there is this issue of GBV, establishment of GBV centers, which is very important. You realize that most of the cases in the Mashinani, they are so rampant, Mr. Speaker. We need to establish these GBV centers as soon as possible, Mr. Speaker, so that we can be able to rescue our girls who are suffering in the Mashinani. We need these centers, and I encourage honorable members that we support this, and we also locate more resources to the construction of GBV centers so that we can be able to rescue the survivors and give them the guide and counseling and also the medical treatment that they require. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. I support.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa Kamau from Maimahiu, and then Mheshimiwa Alex from Lakeview, and then I'll be now crossing over to my left and see whether we're going to have enough time to come back to on my right, in that order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am Kamau representing people from Maimahiu. One, I would like to thank our governor for giving us such a good speech, because when I look at the speech, it is touching every area. I think during the campaign, Madam Gaba went through all our wards, all our sub-counties, and I think this is a comprehensive report of problem of our people that she came up with. But I would like to look at agriculture, because one, our county is among the counties that other counties depend mostly for food. And it's very unfortunate that today our county also is among the counties that are affected with this pandemic of hunger. Mr. Speaker, I think we should come up with a formula and a method that can help our agriculture sector. Mr. Speaker, when we look at our areas right now, people are starving, and yet other counties are looking at Nakuru like as a county that has ability to produce maize. Mr. Speaker, the other day, I think, was it yesterday or the other day, I heard from news, breaking news, that we had some people feeding on a chameleon from Nakuru. I dissociate myself with that information because it's very ashaming. It is not in order at all to hear that there are people in Nakuru.
Mheshimiwa Kamau, was that from the mainstream media or from gutter press, sort of?
It was from all newspapers, everywhere, from social media, from newspaper, everywhere. Mr. Speaker,
what is it, Mheshimiwa Karanja, what is it?
Maybe he gets seated, Mr. Speaker.
You will proceed later, Mheshimiwa Kamau.
You know, Mr. Speaker.
And I want to believe that this is, you've really spent your time.
Yes.
If you wanted to debate, then you've spent your time on informing the House and pointing out to point of order. So this is the last time that you're speaking.
There are members from Crusoe here. And they are plainly seated where Kamau is saying that they are feeding on chameleons. If they are still seated, it may be true, because they are not waking up. So, Mr. Speaker, that's why I wanted Honorable Kamau to clarify whether he really saw or he just heard and believed. Is it a person who hears and believes? And those from Crusoe, is it true or you are comfortable eating chameleons? Mr. Speaker, that's what I wanted to know.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I was just giving it as an example because one, if at all that can happen or can be associated to Nakuru, Mr. Speaker, that one is something that is shaming our county, and that's why I'm saying, in our agriculture sector, I wonder, where are those serious? What happened? Because if you got the national government, we can hear that they are saying we have a plan to plant, I don't know, 5,000 trees. As a county, we should be in a position to say, how many acres of maize are we intending to plant, or how are we going to empower? We should have that number so that we can understand how prepared are we to cope with such a situation. So, Mr. Speaker, the governor's speech was very good because he talked about food security. And Mr. Speaker, this can be just like a poem if not implemented. It sounds very sweet, but we must have a formula on what to do, on what order, what should be done first, second, and whatever. We must have that program because as a members of this House, we are the ones who are supposed maybe to guide and to give our governor maybe the formula or the areas that we need first. So, because I believe our governor is somebody who listens to people, Mr. Speaker, I think we should come up at least with a formula of seeing what to do first and what to do the next. Mr. Speaker, I would like also to touch about water. My ward is a semi-arid area. Mr. Speaker, right now, we are seriously in need of water. Mr. Speaker, it's very unfortunate that nowadays, in some schools, we have a program called Water Fetching Day, because the learning cannot go on normally without water. So we have set a certain day where students go to fetch water for school. Now we have developed another issue. We have a certain hospital it's just an health center in Rogonot, where the community is fetching water to feed the health center. Mr. Speaker, because one, I can hear some people saying that if you have a program called fetching water, we are misusing the timetable, the school timetable. But can we stop running because now there's no water? What can we do? What can we do? So, Mr. Speaker, what we are saying is this. In terms of water, let us come up with a good formula, because I can see in the governor's speech, she's talking about Malewa, where she's going to have water for Naivasha sub-county. Mr. Speaker, I am for that. Let us try and see what we can do so that we can save our people. Mr. Speaker, with that, I would like to thank our governor for coming up with such a good speech, and which I know, if implemented, this can solve the problem of Nakuru. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mheshimiwa Alex, and then I'll cross over to my
Thank you.
left.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to support the speech and the address by Her Excellency President Keheka. Indeed, this is a master plan, a masterpiece, and a blueprint that will see this county go to the future. Mr. Speaker, when you look at the address, the points that have been addressed here, they are pertinent issues that have been addressed very, very well and critically. Mr. Speaker, when you go and look at a part of what has been presented here, and more so on education, Mr. Speaker, we all know that education is a equalizer of all the societies and people within this world that we stay in. Mr. Speaker, were it not for education, some of us would not be here. Some of the people here would not be in the offices that they so go through. In so saying, the foundation of all this is the ECD. Mr. Speaker, where I come from, Naivasha, we are having students, and more so from the slum areas, of people who are working within the flower industry, who do not have meals day in, day out. Mr. Speaker, it's so heartening that this morning I had to go to a school whereby we are doing a fundraise to build a kitchen, because these students are staying without food, literally without food, from their homes. Flower farms are closing within our wards, within Naivasha. And when we have a governor who is coming up with a master plan of having a feeding program within the county government, I think she's a mother and a person who really knows where it pinches most. Mr. Speaker, within the same education, you find that she intends to see to it that we have vocational institution and transition of these students to that state of education. Mr. Speaker, when you look at most of the things that are behaving within our society back there, you find that we have Akira Lake Naivasha. Most of the students who finish Form 4, they don't have anywhere else to go. They all are drawn into that lake. And Mr. Speaker, you can realize that within the last 1.5 months, within my own ward, I have lost 5 of my people within the Lake Naivasha. With this vocational college and institution coming in, I know I'll be able to save more lives, and that's why I stand to support the address by the governor. When you look at the bursaries, Mr. Speaker, this is a key issue that is affecting each and every person where we come from. Indeed, it was an issue that was taken by many during the campaign. It earned people so many votes. It also made some members go out. It is the same issue that is being used by the members of National Assembly to return the CDF, and it's being used as the tool to bring the CDF anchor back to the Constitution, and it will go through. Mr. Speaker, we cannot underrate such a speech, and I say that Mheshimiwa Governor has addressed education in a very, very good way. In Naivasha, Mr. Speaker, we have so many land disputes. In fact, in my own ward, I don't know whether I can reach around 10,000 title deeds. We have land that, government land that has been wasted, government land that has been taken by people. In one particular area, Mr. Speaker, you might know, Kehoto area, I have land that has not been used for the last, I think, 50 years. It is termed as the Kenyatta Garden. This land has so many court cases, but this is public land. Mr. Speaker, within her address, she states very, very well that we shall have alternative dispute resolution methods. I think this is a governor that has seen the future, because within the same way, she has said that she will do a digitalization of all the land registries and quotation of anything that entails land. And I think with that, Mr. Speaker, we shall have things going on very well. If these land disputes are resolved, Mr. Speaker, the county will own this land, and we shall hence go to the master plan on affordable housing. And I think, Mr. Speaker, with that, the county government and the national government will conjoin very, very well to providing Mwananchi of Lakeview Ward and all the other sub-counties within Nakuru County with a good and clear way of housing everything. Mr. Speaker, we have here and there complained of health facilities within our wards. I think, Mr. Speaker, when you come to a hospital like Naivasha Level 5, you find that it is serving all the other sub-counties that are surrounding us. That includes parts of Gilgil, parts of Nyandarua, parts of Narok, and hence, with Mheshimiwa Governor stating that we shall enhance the local dispensaries and health care centers, I think she has seen where it pinches, because most of the people who surround these dispensaries and these health centers, and especially more so the level 5 health centers, they are not served well as per se. Mr. Speaker, when we have the digitalization of the medication or the chain of supply of drugs, I think we shall have curbed how drugs come in and how drugs are dispensed to the people, Mr. Speaker. Within Naivasha, Mr. Speaker, apart from some people who have been favored by gods, you'll find that most of the people have been affected by the fluoride nature of our waters. You'll find that the teeth is either brown or the bones are weak, and hence these people are eliminated from the military training, police training, and other things. So you find that, Mr. Speaker, the people who serve mainly within the task force within Naivasha have been alienated from elsewhere, not from that state. We must own our town as a people and as a nation, and more so as Naivasha, and hence we state that with the governor coming up with a plan on how to bring water back to the people and clean, affordable water to the people of Naivasha, I think I'll die for this governor. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Mheshimiwa Peter Njoroge from Moridat. Then we come to Mheshimiwa Mauche, Mheshimiwa Koros, then Mheshimiwa Gadhanwa, and then Mheshimiwa Mwangi, in that order.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me the floor. Mr. Speaker, sir, as the Chair for Education, I must admit that I'm quite impressed by the vision that the governor has for the education sector. Mr. Speaker, sir, for the first time in history, we are going to have a feeding program. And this is a welcome news to our little ones, because it's going to improve and add value to their nutrition, considering that many children are coming from very humble backgrounds. Mr. Speaker, sir, this feeding program is also going to increase enrollment and retention in our ECD centers. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is quite encouraging. Is it working? Mr. Speaker, sir, it is quite encouraging to see that the governor, in her vision, also intends to expand the ECD centers. If you walk around the county, you will realize that many ECD centers are dilapidated and are in bad shape. Therefore, coming up with new centers will not only improve the face of the county, but will also increase the quality of education that we provide to the little ones. She also showed her concern in wanting to enhance the digital capabilities in the ECD centers. That means maybe providing laptops, which is part of the Big Four agenda, providing laptops to our little ones. Mr. Speaker, sir, I also noticed that in her speech, she has the intention of acquiring modern equipment and also tools for vocational training, which is quite important for youthful people. Because as much as we need to give them the technical skills, we have to have the right equipment to do that. Last but not least, Mr. Speaker, sir, the governor has the intention of coming up with the vocational centers of excellence per sub-county. And this is where I want to commit as the chair for education, that I'm going to commit to engage the executive to ensure that all the MCAs from different sub-counties have been engaged in this discussion of wanting to identify which wards we are going to have these centers of excellence. With that, having said, thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I'm Moses Koros, MCA Mauche Ward. I stand to support and applaud the speech by Her Excellency, the Governor, Nakuru County. She actually took time to assess our needs as a county, and I can see as far as health sector is concerned, she's committed to reforming the health sector so as for the population to receive health services. She's ready to, according to her speech, to improve and even promote the health care service, including supporting the working personnel in the county. We have a number of workers who should also be promoted and motivated. In the county, a number of our staff have been engaged on contract basis, and for them to be motivated, especially the nurses, I want to encourage and also hope that the governor and the county will consider taking them on permanent basis, more especially those who have been renewing their contract for several years, so that they can be motivated and provide the services that we require as a county. Now, agriculture is a backbone of our economy. Recently, there was an introduction of cheap fertilizer, and it appears as if the cheap fertilizer is benefiting those living around the town or those living around the stores where the distribution is taking place. While the farmers in the rural areas do not receive this product, which is very important, cheaply, because they have to travel for long distances, paying for transport and other inconveniences. So where possible, there needs to be an organized manner so that our farmers can receive the fertilizer near their doorsteps, so that they can benefit, so that if it is the price that has been set all the farmers receive this fertilizer at that rate that is recommended. Otherwise, the way things are now, the cartels will take the center stage, and our farmers will be disadvantaged, therefore lowering the production, which is required so much. We need to improve production so that the nation can feed itself. Nakuru is is supposed to be an agriculturally rich county, and the farmers need to be supported, especially the potato farmers. Potato farmers are really facing a lot of challenges because we have got middlemen who are buying the potatoes cheaply. The production cost is very high, but when you see the kind of gunia, if I may say, they have an extra bag at the top, fleecing our farmers. So I think our farmers should be supported at all times, including even the maize farmers. I am happy to note that our governor has indicated that there will be routine maintenance of roads across the county up to 2,000 kilometers. It is good that the roads should be maintained, but there are areas where roads need to be opened. Maintenance can take place only in those areas that have got existing roads. But in some wards like mine, there are some areas that have never been opened. The roads are impassable, especially during rainy season. And we would also like to have funds to open up new roads so that our farmers can access the markets easily and without any much challenge. As far as water is concerned, there is an acute shortage of water across the county, and in my ward, Mauche, there are some people who have never seen or who have never tested the tap water. They only they use rainwater, dam water, and the water is very not. Yes, it is. So we need clean water, and we'd like to, by the end of the period, I'll be happy to see many of our people having clean, drinkable water. While we are waiting for the flagship Itare and Jemasusu dam project to be complete, we would like to at least, I'll be happy to see a number of boreholes being drilled in my ward. There are some boreholes also that have stalled, that there were drilled sometimes back, but have not been used. So as much as possible, I would like to utilize those boreholes so that our people can have clean water according to, because that is in the policy of 2030, Vision 2030, as far as Kenya development is concerned. I'm also happy that our governor has talked on issues concerning vocational training. We have a serious unemployment in the county, and if we can have many of our youth being having training in various vocational trainings that will be established, we shall solve the problem of unemployment, because somebody who has undergone some skills training can self-employ himself or herself. So to reduce the number of unemployed youth, we encourage that vocational institutions or centers be equipped and supplied with tutors or instructors, so that those who have undergone training can come around and be funded so that they can employ themselves And once they employ themselves, they will also employ other youths around the country, therefore solving the problem of unemployment. Land, as we know, is an important factor of production. In our county, we have fertile land. And once we have that land, the agricultural activities can continue. But where there is no proper ownership, production may not be to the maximum. We have in a number of areas, including my ward, land caveat that is really affecting production because people are not very sure of the next move. So we support the governor in his effort to liaise with the national government to lift the caveat in my ward and also in those areas that are affected, Njoro, Molo, and even Kuresoi, so that our people can live peacefully, because where land, I know land, as you know, land is an emotive issue in Kenya. So once we solve, and once the caveat has been removed and proper titling is done, farmers will do the best and the production will go up. So I would like to encourage that as we lift the caveat, the government should sit down properly, because in some areas there are some titles that have been issued double allocation. So that one should be taken
you'll
properly.
be winding up on your submissions.
Yes, okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. To end what I'm discussing, I want to say that we support the government of Her Excellency, the Governor, and we hope very soon the caveat will be lifted so that my people of Mauche can enjoy their stay there. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to sit.
What is it? What is the order?
Mr. Speaker, I wish if you can provoke Standing Order 104. This deals with repetition. Mr. Speaker, since morning, the members have actually deliberated. And I'm sure even the next member that will give a chance to speak will talk about health, will talk about ECD, will talk about land, will talk about water, Chambersis. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, if you look at the members who are here, they're already getting fatigued and time is running out. And Mr. Speaker, if you kindly provoke our Standing Order 104, and after this, Mr. Speaker, we also have Akamukunji. Kindly, Mr. Speaker, so that we have repeated the same issue since morning, Mr. Speaker, kindly. Thank you.
There is another angle to that. There are members who've been lining to talk. And so now we need to agree amongst ourselves that when you have the floor, you have a maximum of 2 minutes, and then so that now the other members who've been lining to contribute to the governor's address, we can only be fair.
Most obliged, Mr. Speaker. At least 1 minute each.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as much as we are talking about the same things, we are all talking on behalf of different people. I have not talked on behalf of Eburu Baruch, and I believe that is why I'm here. Let me start on the matters health. I would wish to commend the governor because she really touched on that area. There is this issue on youth-friendly services, and the youth are really going through a lot that are unable to go to the mainstream health centers to be able to focus on issues on reproductive health, mental health, and so establishing youth-friendly centers is a welcome move from Madam Governor. On the issue of forming support groups for chronically ill patients, you know, people in our county are really going through a lot in terms of cancer treatment and other diseases, and having a support group can really go a long way. Mr. Speaker, I would wish to talk on matters health, finance, both in waivers. Specifically, let me focus on waivers. I want to believe that for a person to get a waiver should depend on their need, their background, and the situation that they are in, and not necessarily the relationship between, for instance, a member of county assembly and the officers in the health facility. It should be about the patient. And hence, we should have a framework whereby when someone has finance challenges, there is a proper way of accessing waivers, and not just based on whether you are able to have a good relation with the officers in charge. I wish to commend the governor for medical supplies that were flagged just the other day. It is our wish and hope that they will be able to reach every corner in the county. On matters water, Mburu Baruk is semi-arid. Areas like Eburu really depend on fumaroles. That is the mvuke, the gas that the same people like Kengen use to make power. Mr. Speaker, it is my great hope that this government, we will be able to sort out the issue of water in areas like Eburu, areas like Kongasis, HR area, where, as Mheshimiwa from Lakeview, Honorable Alex, stated, they end up affecting even the future careers of people. You may miss out on being in the disciplined forces. Because of even missing classes, you may end up missing out in having a very good career, because when you are young, you are busy fetching water. And water affects other areas like even general hygiene. Mr. Speaker, on the matter of land, which is emotive, we are unable to do farming in like fruits farming or tree planting in my area because a lot of people do not have titles and they are afraid of investing in long-term projects. The titling program is welcome. The earliest is the best. And also we hope that the register is going to be well kept because we have so many cases of double titling. Roads, which is, I believe Eburu Baruk ward has the biggest road network. I welcome a governor's plan of having 2,000 kilometers of road being maintained and 200 kilometers being upgraded to bitumen. However, I also wish to note that this can only be helpful if we are able to do the procurement in a timely manner. Mr. Speaker, we've had tenders being awarded towards the end of March when the rainy season are starting, and so the works are not really being done to proper standards. And then within a month or two, it is time for payment, and then we move on to another financial year. If we can be able to change it this time round and have procurement being done as early as possible, and also to have timely payment to contractors, which also will have a direct impact on the standards of work that they are doing. Last but not least, let me touch on bursaries. We have a problem currently because in my area, a lot of people depend on farming. We have not been able to get enough rains. So without product from the farm, they have no source of income. We are, even as at now, depending on food aid. In January, we will be depending on aid in terms of fertilizer and farm inputs. Mr. Speaker, the parents will have a hard time being able to accumulate money enough for school fees. I would support that we really focus on helping them in terms of bursaries. And last but not least, I support the issue of the governor's speech.
You said
Thank
last
you so
but
much.
not least for more than 2 times. So this is the order, so that now we fast track on members' submissions. Mheshimiwa Mwangi, Mheshimiwa from Elbagon, and then Mheshimiwa from Ronda, and lastly, I'll give another round. So in that order. So Mheshimiwa Mwangi, Mheshimiwa Juguna, Mheshimiwa Macharia Ronda, and then Mheshimiwa Hassan, in that order.
Asante sana Mr. Speaker. Na kwanza nishukuru kwa sababu ya nafasi hii ambayo nimepata ili niweze kuchangia hotuba ya gavana wa jimbo la Nakuru. Nimeamini kuwa na mawazo mazuri tulipoahirisha kuiongelelea hii hotuba wakati uliopita kwa sababu ya umuhimu na uzito ulioko. Kwanza Mheshimiwa Speaker, nikiongelelea kuhusu industry ya uchukuzi, alipotuambia governor ni kwamba anafanya juhudi kuhakikisha kwamba watu hawa wanafanya kazi kwa amani. Ile kitu ningeomba ni kwamba Mheshimiwa Speaker, ukiwa na gari kama ya matatu, ukija Nakuru unalipishwa stika ya 1,700. Ukienda na ukiwa Nakuru, ukiwa Naivasha pia unakata nini ingine, stika ingine. So ningeomba katika kutimiza haya tuwe na stika moja ambayo ni ya within Nakuru County, kama maeneo mengine kama Laikipia, Nairobi, ambapo wanakuwa na tiketi moja tu ama stika moja tu, kwa sababu it's within the county. Ndio akitoka county ya Nakuru sasa analipa hiyo ingine ya county ingine. Kwa mambo ya barabara, Mr. Speaker, governor wetu aliongelelea vizuri na kutuahidia kilomita 200 za lami ni jambo la busara. Niliposikia Mheshimiwa Dida akiongelelea kuhusu ukulima, mimi kwangu niko within CBD. Kwa hivyo kwangu chakula ya kwangu ni lami. Mheshimiwa Dida tutasupport yeye apate fertilizer, afanye ukulima. Nami wanisupport nipate lami, juu hiyo ndio watu wangu wataweza kufurahia peke yake. Kwangu hatuwezi lima, hata hatuwezi weka groups zichunge ama zilishe kondoo ama kuku. So in tamaking of my ward, I think ni mimi nitakuwa wa kwanza. Mheshimiwa Speaker, kuna hii issue ya ECD. In my area, the ECD that are public, they are just 4. Private ECDs, they are more than 20. Wakati ninasikia watu wakiongea kuhusu the feeding program, ninataka kuelewa vile tutaweza kufanya kwanza, sababu hao watoto wote wanafaa kupata chakula. So Mheshimiwa Speaker, ile kitu ningeomba mimi na sihi gavana wetu ni kwamba kwanza tumalize madarasa ya hawa watoto, tuajiri walimu, kwa sababu kuna uhaba. Kama shule moja ya chekechea kwangu iko na mwalimu mmoja peke yake ambaye anafunza watoto 73. Sioni msingi ulioko pale, na Mheshimiwa Doreen alisema ya kwamba nyumba ni msingi. Kwa hivyo hao watoto hawapati cha msingi kwanza. Tuajiri walimu na tuweze kumaliza na kuongezea ECD katika public utilities ili tuweze kumaliza, na si kufunga biashara za watu, lakini ni kutaka kuwaleta watoto mahali watakapofaidika. Kuna issue ambayo governor aliongelelea sana kuhusu the governor's kitty ya kuinua mahaslas.
Mheshimiwa Mwangi, you kindly be finalizing. You are now finalizing.
Mheshimiwa Speaker, naomba kwa sababu asubuhi sikuwa na Mheshimiwa Juguna najua alikuweko na wengine waniruhusu tu ni yaseme haya.
So you've gotten that wrong. He was not there. So Mheshimiwa, kindly summarize on your submissions.
Just two issues. Alafu nitakaa chini Mheshimiwa Speaker. Asante. Kwa hiyo kiti Mheshimiwa Speaker, imekuwa sasa gumzo ya mtaa kwamba pesa zilitoka, watu hawajapewa, na ni kweli hatujapata ofisi mzima. The county is not functional kwa sababu kuna kesi, na Mheshimiwa Speaker, naghadhabika sana kwa sababu ya hawa watu ambao wanatuchelewesha kwa hii maendeleo ambao wamepeleka governor kotini. Ni vibaya sana kwa sababu the weight in this document iwezi kuwa tu alifanya appointment zake kama hajui anataka kutekeleza haya mambo. Kwa hivyo ninaghadhabika na wao sana, na ninawaomba wajue vile wanaendelea kututesa wakati tuko hapa na wakati tuko mashinani. Kwa hivyo Mheshimiwa Speaker, katika issue ya titling ambayo walituahidi ya kwamba tutazipata, kuna shida sana kwa sababu Mheshimiwa Speaker, ukiangalia mwenye sahihi analipa the rate, alinunua hiyo plot kwa mtu wa tatu, yeye alikuwa anunua wa pili, wa kwanza, na ndio sio kwamba hatuwezi kupata title deed. Mheshimiwa Speaker, ni kwamba yule mtu ambaye ako na allotment, the name that is in the original allotment, hata haishi, aliaga kitambo. So na huyu mtu anaogopa kwenda kuitisha kutoa title kwa sababu itatoa na lile jina ya yule mtu ambaye alikuwa. Sasa ikitolewa na jina la baba yangu na plot imekuwa developed, hakika sitakubali kukubadilishia. So that is a fear ambayo iko na watu pale. Kwa hivyo ninaomba Mheshimiwa Speaker, governor wetu, because this issue imekuwa devolved, the county to revoke that original allotment and issue another allotment to that person ambaye analipa rate, so that we can fasten the process of getting title deeds. Kwa hivyo nashukuru sana Mheshimiwa Speaker kwa wakati huu na nafasi hiyo nimepata, na nina support na ninapigia kongole hotuba hii ya gavana wetu wa jimbo la Nakuru. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Speaker.
Shukran sana Mheshimiwa Governor. Speaker.
So there is an issue of precedence in the House. So Mheshimiwa Deputy Speaker, and then immediately after Mheshimiwa Deputy Speaker, now Mheshimiwa Juguna and Mheshimiwa Roda, in that order. Not Mheshimiwa Roda, Mheshimiwa for Roda.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir. I want to reiterate on this speech from the governor, and I want to bring it to light that there is this issue that she talked about, Itare Dam. And members, I would want we go back. I shared some information about the Itare Dam because wengi wenu huwa mnasikia Itare Dam lakini mnaweza kuwa hamkujua ni nini ilikuwa. Itare Dam was a very big project that was aimed to bring water to Nakuru, but haikuwa ilete maji Nakuru. Hiyo maji ilikuwa ipelekwa katika Gesheha Farm ili avocado ziweze kukua vizuri. Na ningependa kusema hivi, wale ambao tumetoka pande ya Kuresoi North na Molo, hiyo project Mr. Speaker, tunaweza penda ifikiriwe tena about its planning na vile ambavyo ilikuwa imepangwa itengenezwe, kwa sababu ni vibaya sana maji toke Kuresoi North pale juu, alafu watu wa Molo wakose kupata hiyo maji. Hiyo maji iteremuke hadi Rongai pale Gesheha Farm, iweze ende kusaidia mabwanyenye kadhaa katika hizo farms ambazo ziko hapo hivyo. Mr. Speaker, we come from Molo, where it is an agricultural sub-county. And I would request Madam Governor, hii mambo ya farm inputs, tunaweza penda zipangwe mapema. Ndio kama ni farmers wanapatiwa subsidies, ziweze kuja before the farming period, ndio tuweze kujipanga vizuri pale mashinani. Kitu ingine ambao ningependa kusema, Mr. Speaker, there is this issue of municipality. Tuko na municipality ya Molo na tuko na municipality ya Gilgil. Na ningependa watu wa Gilgil na sisi watu ambao ni wa Molo tuweze kushikana vizuri, ndio tuweze kuleta ama kuhakikisha kwamba hizi legislations ambazo zinastahili kufanywa zimekuja at the right time, ndio tuweze kuaccess zile pesa ambazo zinatoka World Bank katika municipalities. Kwa sababu town kama Molo is now a municipality by name, but it is not a municipality by the amenities, the social amenities ambazo zinahitaji. Ukiangalia Molo, barabara zimeharibika. Ile sewerage system ni ile ya zamani kabisa. So we need to do some good planning, and for us to do that, we must pass this legislation through this assembly. Kwa hivyo nitaomba watu wa Gilgil, waheshimiwa, na sisi ambao ni wa Molo tuweze kushikana pamoja ndio tuweze kuhakikisha ama kuharakisha hii process ya kufanya hizo towns mbili ziweze kuwa municipality. Asante sana Mr. Speaker.
Shukran sana Mheshimiwa Speaker kwa sababu ya kunitunuku fursa hii niweze kuchangia hotuba hii ya mstahiki gavana wetu. Mheshimiwa Speaker, kwanza ni kusema kwamba hotuba hii ni lamani ya Mheshimiwa Gavana ya miaka 10 kama si miaka 5. Na tuna uhakika ya kwamba Mheshimiwa mstahiki gavana wetu atahudumu kwa hatamu ya miaka yake 10 na ili kaunti yetu ipate kupata maendeleo. Mheshimiwa Speaker, nataka kusema kwamba mambo ya afya ama idara ya afya imeguziwa kwa kina, haswa katika ule hali ya kuhakikisha kwamba tutakuwa na wauguzi wa kutosha. Hali ya kuhakikisha kwamba kuna riba na bima ya kulipia wagonjwa wetu katika kaunti nzima. Na Mheshimiwa Speaker, ningependa kuwaomba waheshimiwa kutoka wadi zao tofauti tofauti waweze kuwekeza pesa katika ile huduma yetu ya NHIF, na ili wagonjwa na wale pia wale hawana pesa ama hawana uwezo waweze kupata huduma za matibabu bila kutoa pesa kwa mifuko yao. Mheshimiwa Speaker, vile vile Mheshimiwa Gavana, mstahiki gavana wetu aliguzia hali ya uongozi katika mahospitali zetu. Kumekuwa na hali ya upepetevu ama hali ya kutokuwa na uongozi bora katika mahospitali yetu, na ndio hasa kuna visingizio za kupotea kwa pesa na ile hali ya kukosa uadilifu. Na kwa hivyo kwa sababu Mheshimiwa Gavana alizungumzia kwa kina haya maneno, tunajua kwamba hospitali zetu zitakuwa sawa na huduma zitaweza kupatikana vizuri. Mheshimiwa Speaker, vile vile katika hali ya kilimo, tumshukuru Mheshimiwa Gavana wetu kwa sababu amesema kwamba atakuwa na shirika ama atakuwa na ushirika na zile idara zingine za kiserikali na mashirika mengine ambayo yanakuja hapa kwetu, haswa tukizingatia chuo chetu kikuu hapa cha Egerton. Mheshimiwa Speaker, wale wametoka sehemu za Moro na sehemu zingine wanajua kwamba sisi hupoteza viazi ama utupa viazi ovyo ovyo. Na Mheshimiwa Speaker, uvumbuzi ambao umefanywa hivi karibuni yaonyesha kwamba viazi hutoa mvinyo tamu zaidi Mheshimiwa Speaker katika dunia. Na kwa sababu Mheshimiwa Speaker, tuko na hizo viazi hapa kwetu, tunajua kwamba kukiwa na ule ushirikiano wa chuo kikuu cha Egerton na sisi kama serikali ya county, tunajua kwamba mambo yatakuwa sawa, viazi zetu zitapata soko na wakulima wetu watapata pesa. Mheshimiwa Speaker, vile vile kumekuwa na hali ya kuzungumziwa kuhusu mambo ya kijinsia na kuna waathiriwa wengi hapa katika kaunti yetu. Mheshimiwa Spika, kuna zile hifadhi ambazo zinafaa kuundwa katika kaunti yetu, na tunajua kwamba ngatuzi yetu itakuwa ya kwanza kwa katika kuongoza katika hali ya hifadhi hizi, na ili vijana wetu ambao wanadhulumiwa wapate pahali watakapata hifadhi kidogo, na ili waweze kujisimamia mpaka wafikishe miaka yao ya utu uzima. Mheshimiwa Spika, vile vile mwaka huu na wakati huu kuna hali ya tabia nchi na kuna kongamano ambalo linaendelea kule mjini Misri. Mheshimiwa Spika, ni ukweli sisi tunafaa kuhakikisha kwamba tumewekeza pesa za kutosha, kuhakikisha kwamba tunaangalia mazingira yetu yasiharibike. Na Mheshimiwa Gavana wetu alizungumzia kwa kina kuhusu haya mazingira, na tunajua ya kwamba hii tabia nchi ambayo imetukumba sasa hivi itakuwa ikizingatiwa katika hii miaka mitano. Tutakuwa katika hii jumba tukihakikisha kwamba tumewekeza za kutosha. Mheshimiwa Spika, nataka kukoma na kwa kusema ya kwamba tuna mwito ambao tumeitwa sisi wote kama viongozi siku ya leo kuhakikisha ya kwamba tutaifuata hii ramani, na hata kama Mheshimiwa Gavana wetu mstahiki gavana atatoka kidogo kwa nje ya hii ramani, ni wajibu wetu kama jumba la hili letu kuhakikisha kwamba tumerudisha gurudumu ama tumerudisha hii lamani pahali inafaa, na ili tuweze kupata yale maendeleo yanayofaa. Mheshimiwa Spika, Mheshimiwa Spika, naomba kuunga na kusema ya kwamba nitakuwa mwangalifu sana na kuhakikia kwamba bajeti yoyote italetwa hapa katika jumba hili itazingatia hii lamani, na ili tuweze kupata kusonga mbele na ili kaunti yetu isonge mbele. La mwisho kabisa, Mheshimiwa Spika, Nakuru yetu ilikuwa mji ambao ulikuwa unajulikana katika Afrika nzima kama mji msafi zaidi. Tuomba Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa sababu gavana wetu amesema ataiuza katika maichi jirani na sehemu zingine zozote, tuhakikishe ya kwamba ule usafi utazingatiwa na utarudi hapa kwetu kama njia moja ama kitengo kimoja cha kuuza Nakuru yetu kama mji ambao ni mpya, mji mmoja ambao utakuwa unajulikana katika nchi nzima na dunia nzima, na ili watalii waweze kuja hapa kwetu tuweze kupata kinua mgongo, tuweze kusonga mbele. Naomba kuunga na kushukuru Mheshimiwa Gavana kwa kutafuta maneno yote ambayo yanahusu kaunti yetu.
Asanti Mheshimiwa Spika kwa nafasi ambayo umenipatia. Si Mheshimiwa Ronda, ni Mheshimiwa kama vile umekanusha. Naitwa John Masharia na ni Mheshimiwa ambaye anawakilisha watu wa Ronda. Kwanza ni kushukuru kwa sababu ya mswada ulioletwa masaa ya asubuhi na kiranja wa wengi wa bunge wa County Assembly ambaye ni Majority Leader Mheshimiwa Alex. Nikisema ni asanti kwa sababu ya kunifanya mojawapo wa wale ambao watawakilisha waheshimiwa katika County Service Board. Pia kushukuru wale wazee ambao tunaweza kuwaita, ni vile hatuwezi kuwaita wazee wa kiama, lakini ni wazee ambao waliweka kwamba
Mheshimiwa, that is part of this ama ni your preliminary.
Nasema kwa sababu ni continuation ya yale mambo yaliyokuwa asubuhi.
Okay.
Ni yale mambo yaliyokuwa asubuhi katika
miswada ambayo nimesikia kwamba kuna wazee wa kiama, sasa nikashangaa. They were not part of the governor's address. So.
Nasema nashukuru kwa sababu ya wale wazee ambao wanafanya kila juhudi kuhakikisha ya kwamba, unajua hata kama mzee kama Alex si mzee lakini ni kijana, lakini anaweza kufanya kazi kama ya wazee. Na wengine kama akina Ndwale wanaonekana wachanga lakini ni wazee.
Mheshimiwa, unatupoteza.
Naendelea kwa mswada.
Unapoteza nyumba. Kindly confine yourself within the governor's address. Unless there is another substantive issue that you want to introduce.
Nilitaka tu kushukuru kwa hiyo kwa sababu ilikuwa mojawapo wa msaada na nilisimama sikupata nafasi. So na kwa sababu nilipokuwa ukiadjourn kutoka asubuhi ulisema ya kwamba mswada yote itaendelea wakati wa saa 8. Na kwa hiyo nashukuru kwa sababu ya nyumba hii kwa nafasi hiyo, na pia nataka kurudi katika yale mazungumzo ama yule mswada jambo ambalo governor alileta kutoka kwa speech yake. Nikishukuru sana kwa sababu nimeona ya kwamba katika jambo moja tu ndio nataka kuzungumza. Naona chairman wetu Njuguna amezungumza kuhusu jambo hilo. Bwana Speaker, katika county hii yetu kuna areas zile za slum kama vile Ronda, kuna slums nyingi sana hapa kwetu, na watu wanapitia shida kubwa sana sana sana, Mheshimiwa Bwana Spika, kwa sababu unapata ya kwamba kila siku mtu hata akishapewa ruhusa pale katika PGH hawezi kupata hata pesa za kulipa hospitali, maana kwa siku ni shilingi 1,000, na ukihesabu ya kwamba mtu atalala pale kwa siku kama 15 ama zaidi, unapata yule mgonjwa hawezi kuafford kujilipia bili ya hospitali. Kwa hivyo ni ombi langu, tunapopata yale mambo ambayo Mheshimiwa Governor wetu ambao tuna support mambo ambayo aliyelete katika bunge hili, ya kwamba ni ombi langu tuungane pamoja, na especially katika hali ya health katika county yetu. Committee, wale members ambao wako hapa wa health, tunaomba ya kwamba zile bills na zile mswada zote mtakazo zilete hapa, please, naomba ya kwamba tuweze kushirikiana pamoja, tuweze kusaidia watu wetu wanaumia. Na hii hospitali ya PGH naona ya kwamba Mheshimiwa Governor ameahidi na amesema ya kwamba ata streamline kila jambo ambalo haliendi vizuri katika PGH. Watu wetu wamefungiwa pale, hawawezi kujilipia bill. Kila siku tunaletewa bili ya zaidi ya shilingi 30,000, na yule mtu hata ameshindwa hata kulipa nyumba yake ya shilingi 1,500. Kwa hivyo ni ombi langu, nyumba hii tunapofanya mambo hayo ya NHIF na mambo mengine, tuweze kusaidia wapendwa wetu na tuweze kuwainua na kuhakikisha ya kwamba hawatafungiwa kwenye mahospitali kwa sababu ya bill. As we are talking saa hizi, Bwana Speaker, kuna zaidi ya watu 300 ambao wamefungiwa hapo. Tunashukuru wakati governor alipoenda pale, alitoa waiver ya 5 million na kuhakikisha ya kwamba kuna watu walienda nyumbani. Kati ya watu hao ambao walipewa waiver hiyo ya shilingi milioni 5, kulikuwa watu wa Ronda zaidi ya watu 100. So tunashukuru sana kwa mambo kama yale. Naweza kuongeza mambo mengi, lakini kwa sababu mambo mengi yamezungumzwa, hata katika mambo haya ya kilomita 200, tunashukuru kwa sababu committee ya lands ikiongozwa na chairman wetu wa roads KK utaangalia maslahi ya watu wote na uwatoshanisha, na kama vile mmoja wetu amesema kule kunahitaji lami, tupe lami. Na unajua kwamba wewe K5 wewe ni mtu ya nguvu, na najua kwamba utatimiza mambo hayo. Mungu abariki nyumba hii hata kwa matendo yao mema wanayoyatenda. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. Mheshimiwa Hassan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Allow me also to join other honorable members in congratulating and also thanking Her Excellency the Governor and the third Governor and also the first woman to become the Governor of Nakuru. Your Excellency, I'm not good in Kiswahili, and I'm shocked that someone from Molo can speak very wonderful Swahili. I always told myself that people from Mombasa are the only people who speak Kiswahili sanifu, but I'm very happy. Mr. Speaker, I'm not going to talk about lands, health, or whichever. I want to talk about young people in this house because I'm here to represent them. And Mr. Speaker, on the governor's address, she mentioned that she wants to establish ICT hubs in every sub-county. Mr. Speaker, it's very important to have these ICT hubs because nowadays everything is IT, everything is technology. When you go to these ICT hubs, our young people will even get job opportunities from those ICT hubs. Mr. Speaker, today in the morning I had a privilege to attend a county security meeting with the Honorable Deputy Speaker at around here in Milimani. And Mr. Speaker, we had a very wonderful meeting with the regional commissioner, the county commissioner, and the representative from Ministry of Interior, and also the National Counter-Terrorism Center. Mr. Speaker, the agenda of that meeting was about radicalization. You find out that young people have been radicalized. Back at our homes, like for example in Kaptembwa, Ronda, Mr. Speaker, we have young people that they call themselves confirmed guns. Mr. Speaker, they have no work to do. They just sit, wanakaa mahali kutoka asubuhi mpaka jioni, they just go through their phones and they are conning people. Mr. Speaker, when you have these ICT hubs, this is the place where these people are going to be. They are going to change themselves. This is where they are going to get job opportunities from everywhere in this country. Mr. Speaker, I have also picked something from the Madam Governor's address about the streamlining the access to government procurement opportunities. Mr. Speaker, it is known as AGPO. I mean, I'm sure many members here understand. Mr. Speaker, nowadays we have people that they call themselves young people, but they are not young people, they are old people. They are using young people, I mean, they go and register these young people. They form companies with young people and they give them 10% shares. And when they are doing work, wakati wanalipwa, this money inaenda kwa wazee. It's not going to young people. Mr. Speaker, we want that issue to be streamlined. If it is young people, it is young people. It is 18 to 35. We don't want wazee wakule pesa ya vijana, wazee wakule pesa ya wazee na wakae nyumbani, watosheke na hiyo. Mr. Speaker, the most important thing also, and the last thing, because I told you I'm not going to talk about the land and health, I'm just going to talk about young people. The governor talked about this. We are going to have a sport, it's called, she's going to create sports and arts fund, and the talents and nurturing talents. Mr. Speaker, even in this house, I'm sure many of us here, they have talents, but they have not gone outside there and used those talents very well. That is why waliamua kwenda kutafuta kura kukuja hapa kwa hii nyumba. But Mr. Speaker, if some of us here, Mr. Speaker, in this house, some of us, like me myself, I can play football very well, but I didn't get that chance to go and play football. Mr. Speaker, we have people here, like today I was talking to the Deputy Speaker, and he told me he's a very good pool player. He plays pool, very nice. Hata alikuwa, I don't know, alikuwa captain ya Kenya mzima ya pool. So Mr. Speaker, kama saizi angekuwa hapa, angekuwa anacheza pool wapi? China. So Mr. Speaker, I think we need to support the governor, and we need to make sure that some of these policies, when they are going to be brought in this house, we will make sure that we make they are very fast initiated, so that we can create these sports and funds and sports. It's called sports and arts funds for nurturing young people. So Mr. Speaker, mimi sina maneno mingi. I just wish that when some of these policies going to bring this house, we are going to fast track them. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. I need to give direction, but already Mheshimiwa Kuria is up. So what will happen, we will adjourn this debate. Of course, for clarity, the governor's address enjoys up to 4 sittings, plenary sittings. And so we are going to adjourn this sitting for a session tomorrow. However, Mheshimiwa Francis has really put up his case. He's been standing throughout this session. But then there's going to be Mheshimiwa Ikezia tomorrow, then Mheshimiwa Neto Sakwa tomorrow, and then Mheshimiwa Murage. In that order, you will kickstart the debate tomorrow. And of course, I'm seeing Mheshimiwa Gatuso from London. You kickstart the debate tomorrow. So, and I can see Mheshimiwa Chemu, Helen Chemutai. So, the last person or the last member, honorable member this evening to submit his points for the governor's address is Mheshimiwa Francis Kuria.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Francis Mongai Kuria, representing the people of Marwa Westward. I'm supporting the message of our speaker, of our governor, Mr. Speaker, and I will go directly, I will be very short and believe. On matters of construct robust integrated county transport infrastructure master plan, covering road and transport connectivity. Mr. Speaker, I would like us, we support the governor by one. We want to have the surveyors of the Nakuru County to do a visit site so that we can identify, we have people who have encroached our roads and some of the roads are very impassable. You find once the contractor is on the ground, he did a very short job. One, the roads are very narrow. Maybe people have grabbed the road. They have fenced on the road. So we want to have the surveyors go a visit site, do a research with the administrative, with the law enforcers, so that those who have encroached the road can make a way. Number two, we want to identify the drainage system. Some of our areas have started experiencing lean, and you find a contractor once on the field, he just come, maybe it's on a dry season, he come, do maraming and leave. When it started raining, the maram is being carried away. We want, if possible, to have the all the drainage system be identified so that we do well caravating, and where the bridges are need to be put, they be identified. We have this issue, Mr. Speaker, of RAD subdividing. You find, if it's possible, you find maybe it's a 10-acre piece of land and the owner have done subdivision. If it's possible, let's have a bill that will make those who are subdividing the land, first they make or they give access to that land, it being graded, it being marammed, so that those who come maybe to buy the plots, we don't have issues on maybe the road is impassable, it's rainy season, it's Monday. Also, Mr. Speaker, we want where the tarmac is being carried on, once the bitumen is being laid, we want the sleeves. Let's have, if you go right now, you will find maybe there are the cyber cables that are being put underneath the road. So you find those contractors are drilling some tunnels. So if it's possible, let's have the sleeves being put under the roads, so that once you, there are any project that is going on, the contractors can make a way through those sleeves, maybe to pass their cables, and we are not going to have the interference of the roads, maybe the blockages, such kind of. Mr. Speaker, I really support this motion, this speech of her governor, and also there is one honorable member who commented that those who are in rural towns, Mr. Speaker, the urban, rural urban, even the rural people need the tarmac road, Mr. Speaker. And we are the one who feed those who are in the urban. They rely on us, Mr. Speaker. So let those who are in the rural areas be recognized that they too need the tarmac road, Mr. Speaker. Because we are the source, us who are in the rural areas, we are the source of the raw materials. We feed the people who are in urban center. So we don't want that discrimination of, oh, we need to be supported. No. We all need accessibility. We all need that inclusivity and equality. With those few remarks, Mr. Speaker, I support the speech of her governor. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa Francis, the chairman for roads and infrastructure. So, honorable members, the debate is adjourned to tomorrow, 9:30 in the morning. Next order.
Mr. Speaker, those are the orders of the sitting.
So, this house starts adjourned until tomorrow, 9:30 a.m.